One name has suddenly set Bruno Mars fans into a frenzy during the romantic tour at MetLife Stadium: Jessica Caban. Did the woman who was once so close to Bruno Mars really appear somewhere among the thousands of fans? Or is there something being deliberately kept out of the spotlight? Welcome to Bumars. Before we uncover the rumor that has fans asking questions, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe right now. Because the deeper we look for the answer, the more questions seem to appear. Bruno Mars concerts at MetLife Stadium have once again become a major center of attention. Not only because the superstar brought the romantic tour to one of the most iconic stadiums in the New York and New Jersey area, but because one name from Bruno's past suddenly returned to the center of fan discussions: Jessica Caban. The question sounds simple, but the answer is far more complicated. Was Jessica Caban really at Bruno Mars' concert at MetLife Stadium? Or are fans seeing something that has never actually been confirmed? Here is what makes this story even more intriguing. At this time, there is no reliable official confirmation from Bruno Mars, Jessica Caban, MetLife Stadium, or an official concert source stating that Jessica Caban attended the concert. MetLife Stadium's official schedule does confirm that Bruno Mars performed at East Rutherford on August 21, 22, 25, and 26, 2026, as part of the romantic tour. But Jessica? There is no official confirmation. And that information gap may be exactly what is making the rumor grow. MetLife Stadium itself has become an important stop on Bruno Mars' tour. The stadium's official website lists Bruno Mars' 4 performances on August 21, 22, 25, and 26, 2026. Bruno Mars' official website also lists those 4 dates as part of the romantic tour. So one thing is clear: Bruno Mars was at MetLife Stadium for his scheduled concerts. But was Jessica Caban there? That is where we have to separate fact from speculation. Jessica Caban is certainly not an unfamiliar name to Bruno Mars fans. For many years, Jessica was known as Bruno's longtime partner, and one of the most important people in his personal life. Their relationship lasted for more than a decade and became one of the celebrity relationships that attracted significant public attention, largely because the two were extremely private about their lives together. They were never known as a couple that constantly shared their private lives online. They did not turn their relationship into a daily public spectacle. And that is precisely why every time Jessica's name appears around Bruno Mars, fans immediately take notice. This time, however, the setting is not just any place. It is MetLife Stadium. Imagine the atmosphere. Tens of thousands of fans filling the stadium. The lights begin to dim. The opening music echoes through the venue. Giant screens come alive. Then Bruno Mars appears, and the entire stadium transforms into a sea of lights. In an environment like that, it would be incredibly easy for a woman who resembles Jessica Caban to trigger a rumor. One short video. One photograph from the stands. One comment from a fan. And within hours, a rumor can begin to sound like a fact. Jessica was there! But was she really? This is the part that is often missing from viral stories. A rumor circulating on social media does not automatically become proof that someone attended an event. Even if a photograph or video appears to show a woman who looks like Jessica, the person's identity still needs to be verified before any conclusion can be reached. And based on the information that can currently be verified, there is not enough reliable evidence to say that Jessica Caban definitely attended Bruno Mars' MetLife concert. But why does Jessica's name continue to be connected to Bruno? The answer goes back to their long history together. Bruno Mars and Jessica Caban began being publicly recognized as a couple around 2011. Over the years, their relationship developed far away from the constant spotlight. Jessica was not simply someone who occasionally appeared beside a superstar. She was part of Bruno's life during a major period of his career. As Bruno won awards, released successful albums, traveled around the world, and built one of the biggest careers in modern pop music, Jessica's name remained part of the story surrounding his personal life. During one particularly memorable awards moment, Bruno publicly acknowledged Jessica and described her as an important source of support in his life. Their relationship also became a subject of media coverage precisely because the couple rarely discussed their private lives directly. That is why reports suggesting that their relationship may have ended caused so much reaction among fans. Rumors about their breakup became stronger around 2024. One important moment often discussed was when Bruno reportedly referred to himself as single during a concert in Sao Paulo in October 2024. Show reported that the statement led fans to question the status of Bruno's relationship with Jessica. gshow.globo.com. But the situation was never completely straightforward. A relationship between two people cannot be determined solely through Instagram posts, fan comments, or interpretations of songs. In early 2026, outlets such as Parade were still discussing the uncertainty surrounding Bruno and Jessica's relationship status. The report emphasized that both have remained highly private and have never provided the public with a complete explanation of their relationship. And now, with Bruno performing at MetLife Stadium, that old question has returned. Was Jessica really there? If she was, why has there been no confirmation? If she was not, why do so many fans believe they saw signs of her presence? And most intriguingly, could this rumor actually be connected to something bigger? Bruno Mars fans already know that the singer is not the type of celebrity who explains every detail of his private life. He often lets the music speak. He lets the stage speak. And sometimes, precisely because there is no explanation, the public creates its own story. That appears to be what is happening with Jessica. When a relationship lasts more than a decade, fans naturally begin noticing small changes. A missing photograph. A social media post that no longer appears. The absence of public appearances together. Even a short comment can be analyzed again and again. But does any of that prove that they actually broke up? Some reports certainly point in that direction. Several outlets have discussed signs suggesting that the relationship ended, while other reports have continued to describe the situation as unclear because neither Bruno nor Jessica has provided a detailed public statement. And this is precisely why the MetLife rumor is so fascinating. Because if Jessica really was there, fans may wonder whether it was simply a casual appearance. Did she attend as a regular concertgoer? Did she come to support Bruno? Was she somewhere in a VIP area? Or is there a possibility that the relationship between her and Bruno was never completely over in the way many people assumed? But once again, all of those questions remain speculation. There is no official evidence proving that Jessica's presence, if she was there, would mean that Bruno and Jessica have reunited. There has been no announcement that they are back together. There has been no statement from Bruno. No statement from Jessica. And no confirmation from the concert organizers. That is exactly why we have to be careful not to turn curiosity into an unsupported claim. What is certain is that the attention surrounding Bruno Mars at MetLife is enormous. The romantic tour represents one of the biggest touring projects of his career. MetLife Stadium's official website describes the concerts as part of Bruno Mars' major 2026 stadium tour. Media coverage has also highlighted Bruno's performances and the songs fans can expect to hear during the romantic tour. One report ahead of the MetLife shows mentioned hits such as Uptown Funk, Just the Way You Are, and Locked Out of Heaven among the attractions of the performance. In other words, the MetLife concerts are already major news on their own. But once Jessica Caban's name entered the conversation, the focus changed. Suddenly, the concert was not only about music. It was not only about Bruno's performance. It was not only about the spectacular lights or thousands of fans. It became about the past. About love. about a relationship that lasted for years, and about a question that may never have received a complete answer. What if Jessica really was there but deliberately chose to stay away from the cameras? We have to remember that Jessica is known for protecting her privacy. Bruno has a similar reputation. So even if someone close to them attended a major concert, it does not mean that their presence would be publicly announced. But there is another side to this. If someone really attended a massive concert such as one at MetLife Stadium, especially a concert featuring an international superstar, the chances of fan photographs appearing would naturally be high. And based on the evidence that can currently be verified, there is no photograph or video that can reliably and conclusively establish that Jessica Caban attended Bruno Mars' MetLife concert. That is the difference between saying someone was reportedly spotted and saying someone was confirmed to be there. Those two phrases may sound almost identical, but their meanings are completely different. Reportedly spotted means someone claims to have seen the person. Confirmed to be there means there is verifiable evidence. At this point, we are still dealing with the first. And perhaps that is precisely what makes this story so viral. Because people are naturally fascinated by things that do not have answers. Once the answer is clear, curiosity disappears. But when the question remains open, everyone wants to be the first person to discover the truth. On social media, a tiny detail can grow into a massive theory. A woman wearing a certain outfit can be identified as Jessica. A distant silhouette can be interpreted as Jessica. Even someone who simply resembles her can become the center of a rumor. And when Bruno Mars is involved, stories like this can quickly attract worldwide attention. But fans also have an emotional reason for following the story. For some Bruno fans, Jessica is not simply the former partner of a superstar. She is someone who was by Bruno's side for many years, while his career developed into one of the biggest in modern music. That is why the idea of Jessica potentially appearing at one of Bruno's concerts feels almost like a scene from a movie. A singer performs on stage. Thousands of people sing along. The stadium lights illuminate the crowd. And somewhere among those people, someone from the singer's past may be watching it all. But did that actually happen? That is the question we still cannot answer with certainty. It is also important to remember that even if Jessica were eventually confirmed to have attended, that would not automatically mean Bruno and Jessica had resumed their romantic relationship. Someone can attend a concert without becoming a romantic partner again. Someone can offer support without there being a reconciliation. Someone can attend an event for personal reasons that the public knows nothing about. And in celebrity relationships, the public often sees only a small fraction of the complete story. Maybe there were conversations that were never made public. Maybe they maintained a friendship after their romantic relationship ended. Or maybe there is nothing between them at all. Maybe Jessica was never there. Maybe the entire rumor began because someone was mistakenly identified. And that possibility must remain on the table until stronger evidence appears. Meanwhile, Bruno Mars continues with the romantic tour. According to his official tour schedule, after the MetLife performances, the tour continues to Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Foxborough, Indianapolis, Tampa, New Orleans, Miami, and other cities. So Bruno's journey is far from over. And as the tour continues, it would not be surprising if more rumors emerge. Maybe about a surprise guest. Maybe about a collaboration. Maybe about someone from his past. Or perhaps about Bruno's private life, which has remained a mystery to the public for years. But one thing is certain. The story of Jessica Caban and Bruno Mars still carries tremendous emotional weight for fans. More than a decade together created a history that is difficult for the public to simply forget. That is why whenever something is interpreted as a new sign, fans immediately pay attention. But perhaps the biggest lesson from the MetLife rumor is actually quite simple. Not everything that goes viral is a fact. Not every photograph is proof. Not every fan theory is reality. And not every relationship that ends has to be explained to the world. Bruno Mars has the right to protect his private life. Jessica Caban has the same right. If one day they decide to announce something publicly, fans will undoubtedly know. But until that day comes, we can only rely on information that can actually be verified. So, was Jessica Caban really at Bruno Mars' concert at MetLife Stadium? For now, the answer remains unconfirmed. Bruno's MetLife concerts are real. The dates are official. His performances are indeed among the major music events taking place in the area. But the claim about Jessica's presence has not received official confirmation from a reliable source. And perhaps that is exactly where the mystery remains. Because if Jessica was not there, how did the rumor begin? But if she really was there, why has no truly convincing evidence appeared? Did fans simply mistake someone in the crowd for Jessica? Or is there one missing moment that the public has yet to discover? And if a verified photograph from the MetLife concert eventually appears, will we see Jessica simply as another fan watching Bruno perform? Or could her presence become the clue that suggests the story between Bruno Mars and Jessica Caban was never truly finished? What do you think? Was Jessica Caban really at MetLife Stadium and deliberately staying away from the cameras? Or is this simply another rumor fueled by fans who still remember the decade-plus relationship between Bruno and Jessica? If Jessica really was there, was it merely a gesture of support for Bruno, or could it be a sign that an old story has not completely ended?
Say that I feel just a little bit better.